Hi there, I'm Dr. Lafita J, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things in between being and a pharmacist. How you doing? You all right? Today I want to talk about and dive into how to become a pharmacist. I get this question a lot. Sometimes, people get introduced to the professions like, oh, what is that? What's a pharmacist? What would we do? I was thinking about being one, but I don't really know much about it. How do you get in? So hi, let's explore all those things, okay? So we as pharmacists, we are highly skilled and trusted medication experts. We know all the things about drugs. We just literally a medication expert. We know about the biochemical makeup of the drugs, how it impacts your use of it, the side effects of it, interactions, effectiveness of it. Basically, we're just all about what the drug does for your body and what your body does for the drug. We live in that lane. And we typically you probably seen us majority of the time dispense medications and educate patients and providers about safety and effective use. Most of the time, I would say what you see, you probably got an introduction to a pharmacist being receiving on receiving end of being our probably you or a relative, friend, probably been to the pharmacy and saw the dispensing of the medicine. That's probably your introduction. Or it could be in a hospital. Who knows? But most of the time, what people see is that we particularly give prescription fulfillment. And you probably seen a pharmacist administer vaccinations. We do those things. However, that's typically what the things people see. I remember it's still kind of I don't want to say bad news, but it's like all the time people like just put pills in a bottle. We do so much more than that because what you see is just pills, like get your prescription filled in the order, but we're also too making wrong calls with doctors. Like we catching different things like this medication is not appropriate for this person, this dosage is not right. How is this person going to effectively use this? We look in the patient's profile and see, hey, this person, because sometimes people you may go to a specialty doctor and um or you are relatives, not so not just you, but you may go to a specialty doctor and he may prescribe something and then your primary care doctor prescribes something and hey, you got two of the same drugs. And those are the kind of things that pharmacists catch or making sure like, hey, it's always a thing of is this drug used appropriate? Is it indicated for the right thing? Is it if it's safe for you? Like, yeah, are going to create even side effects due to your health conditions, due to the medications you're taking? Is it going to be effective for you? That's the key things that we typically do as a pharmacist. Now there are way many different types of pharmacists. Majority of the pharmacists you probably see are introduced to are going to be the top two are going to be community or retail pharmacists, or it's going to be like a hospital clinical type pharmacist. Now community pharmacists, these are the people who dispense medications typically in pharmacies or independent pharmacies. These are the ones that you're going to discuss your healthcare concerns with, offer vaccinations, health screenings. These are the most accessible pharmacists here, the community pharmacists. Then you also have clinical pharmacists. Now these pharmacists provide more like direct care in hospitals or clinics for you. They like work alongside other healthcare providers that sometimes would depend on that facility that you can prescribe and deliver medications, and also depending on your state. That's another thing too. And it's always too like they monitor and monitor for effectiveness, safety, and conduct tests to make sure the drug was in the protocol. Now, even when you do clinical pharmacists they do have specializations. Like you can be a nuclear pharmacist. You can be oncology pharmacist, pediatric pharmacist, psychiatric. It's different kinds of pharmacists you really can be. And then they like pediatric work with the kids, dosing their medications. Oncology, cancer patients working with those. For those patients, you can also be anticoagulations for people who ever on warfarin, managing your levels. Diabetic, like this thing like in diabetic clinics and stuff like that, just focusing on those type of levels, making sure patients are within. So they do have different specializations for those. So that's always a thing. Now you also have consultant pharmacists. Now these consultants always provide expert guidance. So this can be a providing expert guidance to healthcare providers, insurance companies about reviewing patients' drug regimens, and again making sure that they're safe, effective, and also more importantly when it comes to consulting, more so compliant. That's going to be a key thing. You also have pharmacists who work in the military, specifically for our men and women of service, or they service. And you also have wholesale pharmacists. Wholesale pharmacists can dive in a little bit of the PBM stuff. That's a whole other thing. I'm throwing a whole lot of terminology at you, I know, but it's one of those things of, I would even say, like, if you probably heard, I don't know if you probably heard this, some people say like, oh, your drug needs a prior authorization. Sometimes that it can be a pharmacist approving those prior authorizations, meaning that the insurance, this drug is high, and the insurance will make sure you have tried other cheaper alternatives before using this high cost medication. So that's one of the kind of things of a quick, dirty way to remember like what a prioritization pharmacist is. But you also have research pharmacists, like the ones in the pharmaceutical industry. They do the research, development of the new drugs. There are lab-based pharmacists designed to conduct those clinical trials and just work alongside with the sales and marketing. Because it show like, hey, why this drug is good, why it's being approved, and why it should work. Like, it's like the newfound thing. And then you also have pharmacists who work in the government, and there's different sectors of government pharmacists as well. So it's all different kind of things. Like pharmacists, a lot of different types of pharmacists, and that's what I'm saying. What, like, we really, pharmacists, we are truly needed. Like, we are the most accessible healthcare provider ever. You don't need an appointment majority of the time to come see us. You just walk up to, especially if you're in a community pharmacist, retail, independent, you just walk up and talk to a pharmacist. You don't have to have an appointment like you do with other healthcare professionals. You just come and talk to us, and then we can sometimes either save you a trip to going to the pharmacy, going to the hospital, or seeing a doctor. And then sometimes maybe a thing of, hey, this is really serious. You need to actually go to the hospital. So that's definitely one thing. And also too, one of the most important thing why pharmacists are needed, because we are the medication experts. I cannot express that enough. We are truly the medication experts. Not downplaying any profession, but we spend 3 to 4 years learning about drugs. Majority of your healthcare providers, they only had, while in their schooling, they probably only had 1 semester or 2 semesters of knowing about drugs. We spend 3 to 4 years of knowing and really honing in on what these drugs are, and things of this nature. So definitely that. Now let's dive into it. Now I gave y'all the background, all the good stuff about what a pharmacist. So really now, how to become a pharmacist? It's really simple. And this is, let me say, this is more so for Americans, how to become a pharmacist in the Americans, the United States of America, okay? How you complete. So first things first, when it comes to becoming a pharmacist, you have to have your prereqs, complete like a pre-pharmacy program or a bachelor's degree. That's most of the time the requirements. And pre-pharmacy program and a bachelor's degree, some schools do require you to have a degree. Some schools do not. That's option. There's a flexibility that we have that most professions do not have. Sometimes, like most medical schools require a bachelor's degree, but some schools, with regards to a pharmacy school, you don't necessarily need one. So that's a good thing. And you finish your prerequisites, and that's the thing too. And with your prerequisites, that's more so is they have general class that you have to take, like some core sciences class, some core math class, even some type of humanities, writing, English type things. There are some core, but also to other pharmacy schools require different things. So it's more so specifically to what that school you desire to apply to, what they really want for prerequisites. But it's also a thing with prerequisites. It's gotta be, you gotta have a good grade point average. Of course, the base minimum is 3.0. Like, it's good to apply with a 3.0. However, I will say this for someone, it's a difference when it comes to pharmacy school. They do look at your overall average GPA versus your prerequisite GPA. That's a big difference. Like, you may have a stellar, say you may have a 2.3. I would say that's all right. Let's say you had a 2.8 overall GPA, but your prerequisites average, like the requirements of that school, what they require, that is like a 3.4. See, that's a difference. It may be something happening. I don't know, whatever. It's a good range, but I'm just saying that may be a difference. Or let's say you have the 3.4 overall GPA. That's all your classes on your transcript. But that prerequisites, like those specific courses that college needs, but that one is particularly low. That plays hand in hand. And my rule of thumb is have a balance. Like, if you can, everybody can have that expert thing where they have 3.0s and above in each. Yes, you are a high candidate for having those, but if you do fall by the wayside, look, if you're overall low, that prerequisite average gotta be absolute high. You gotta have a balance, okay? Got to have a balance. Now, as this time of this recording of this particular video, I want to make sure I announce this because most of the time, one of the second things of you needed to become a pharmacist, where you had to take a entrance exam. And at the time of this recording, per Pearson Assessments and Pharmacy College Application Service, the Pharmacy College Admissions Test, also known as the PCAT, was retired on January 10, 2024. So the final testing cycle was done in January, and it retired. So no PCAT testing dates is going to be offered between 2024 and 2025 admission cycle. There are no PCAT admissions beyond. Now, can't say what is going to happen before, but as of right now, they do not. So with this particular information, PCAT score was something you will use. It has been a thing. It has evolved over the years. When I started out, it was like a requirement. Now it has evolved to being optional. And as I said, this next cycle between 2024 and 2025, it's not, you can't even take the exam. So it's probably going to be enough for this particular cycle. It's not required. And with the PCAT, it was a score, just like how you had your ACT to get into college. The PCAT is the test to get into pharmacy school, and it ranged between 200 to 600. And the most kind of competitive, you want to be in a competitive range, like 400 plus. But again, it's all about weighing out your options. Like I said, everything got to match. Don't think like because it's not top tier perfect, you just can't get in. Like, follow your dreams. Don't get me wrong. However, if your PCAT score is low, your grade point average got to be high. Like, something got to work, okay? It just can't be one up, one down. Something got to happen. So make sure you're aware of that, okay? And that's PCAT score. And the third thing is also, too, your experiences. That's your professional experience, your extracurricular activities. Because that's one of the things, too. Like, sometimes pharmacists want to make sure you are a well-rounded individual. You have those people they got the 4.0 GPA, 3.8, like overall 4.0. Well, let's see. Overall 3.8. The prerequisites average is 3.5. However, they hadn't did anything but just study. So it's like you gotta have a well balance. Like, that is something you gotta be like. You didn't participate in any clubs, any extracurricular activities. You didn't have any kind of professional experiences. Like, what were we doing? Like, you gotta be well rounded in a sense, okay? And also, the fourth thing you need to become a pharmacist, like I said, the good transcript comes to average, grade point average, things in the next. They kind of go hand in hand up to my prerequisites, getting all those things done. Basically the courses the school requires for you to take to get admitted, because it kind of helps the foundation for us when you get into pharmacy school. That's why it's called prerequisites, just so you know. and the transcripts, of course, with GPA. Now, of course, there's going to be a fee. How many schools you apply to, it gets a little. They try to give you a bargain for like the more schools you apply to, you get like a little bargain for it. But you can truly expect a fee for it. And lastly, you're always going to have some schools require, like I said, specific qualifications. Some schools may require you to write a letter, professional letter, have your references. You need professional references. They may specify what type of references do you need, your letter of intent to join, or your admissions. Also, letter of intent, our personal statement they use, where you saying you plead to them like why they should choose you, who you are, and why they should choose you, and what you plan to do, and how their pharmacy school aligns with them, will aligns with your goals and how you can benefit from them. Basically, like any other job application, whereas the main thing is why you should pick me, how you can benefit from me, and why your school aligns with my goals and what I want to do, simply put. But those are some things you can definitely do. And these are the top things, very quick and to it, of how to become a pharmacist. These are the things that sure are, like I said, other schools require specific things, but we count all the major things, i.e., your prerequisites. Again, at the time of this recording, that's of January 10th, 2024. No PCAT, the PCAT has retired. Per Pearson and Pharmcast, which is the pharmacy, me. per, was it Pharmacy College Application Service per Pharmcast. So just make sure for that. And as of 2024-2025 cycle, it has retired for right now. I don't know. It might come back, but it might just be officially gone. So, okay. And you also need experiences, extra activities, transcripts, your transcripts from your any school you have attended. Any school with community college, which is a 4-year university. Any schools, transcripts, more so collegiate, not necessarily high school, okay? Not necessarily high school, unless it was like really good stuff, like more just your college credits. And again, some schools have specific qualifications and things of that nature. I do hope you found this video very helpful. Please like, comment, subscribe to our channel. And until next time, remember that pharmacy is unlimited. You are. Now go be great.